The Coffin of Andy and Leyley is a physical horror made by independent developer Leyley. The game came out almost 3 years ago and quickly captured the attention of many people with its frank content, if we put it mildly. Generally, it's a 2D adventure game mixed with the visual novel genre that tells a story about the extremely toxic relationship between two sociopathic siblings, a brother named Andrew, aka Andy, and a sister named Ashley, or Leyley. The story is separated by episodes, and by now we have the first 2 of them, and a variation of the third one has been released. So let's not waste any time and see what The Coffin is. However, before we start, I must warn you to be aware that the game includes many sensitive topics, such as incest, violence, cannibalism, and others. If you can't handle any of these, you'd better close this video. If you stay, subscribe to my channel and dive into this fetishist madness with me. Episode 1. The story takes place sometime in the 1990s. A brother named Andrew, or Andy, and a sister named Ashley, or Leyley, are supposed to live in the same apartment under quarantine, having been diagnosed with parasites. Their parents don't visit or even contact their children, and the wardens that are supposed to supply the siblings with food and water don't care much about their duties. And after growing up in these isolated conditions and having almost no care or upbringing, the siblings' relationship becomes quite complicated. About the main characters, Andrew is cynical and emotionally repressed. He's never been loved by his parents, always supposed to be some kind of understanding caretaker for his sister. Ashley, on the other hand, is manipulative, obsessive, and unsocialized. Though she was a planned child, her parents never paid her any attention, which made her grow up with absolutely no inner boundaries. On the 3rd month of being isolated, Andrew and Ashley discovered that their neighbor is a cultist who just summoned a demon as an attempt to escape quarantine. However, the man gets killed by the demon right after the ritual, so the siblings explore his home just to find no food. Ashley quickly considers the idea of eating the neighbor's dead body. Though Andrew doesn't like that idea, his sister persistently suggests that he join, feeling no remorse at all. Next, in the flashback where the siblings are still kids, we see how Ashley, like a classic yandere, wants to punish a girl named Nina, who confessed her feelings towards Andrew. The brother accepts her idea, so they lock the girl inside a box, causing her death from asthma. Andrew and Ashley swear to never tell anyone of this, except for each other. Back in the present day, the main protagonists clean up all evidence of their neighbor's death and hide from the wardens, which leads to one of the wardens being killed by Andrew. After that, the siblings decide to finally run away. During the escape, they get rid of another warden by sacrificing him to a demon. In exchange for the sacrifice, the demon gives Ashley an amulet that will give her some kind of prophetic dream. The first episode ends with the siblings killing another random tenant, escaping the house, and leaving the city by bus. Episode 2. The second episode begins as Andrew and Ashley rent a room in a motel. There, the sister is faced with the promised premonitory dream, in which someone wearing a mask stabs her and her brother to death. Ashley wakes Andrew up and they go outside to avoid their predicted fate. While waiting for the mysterious murderer near the motel, they spot a member of the same cult as their eaten neighbor. In order to find out more about this community, Andrew follows the stranger, infiltrates the cult undercover, and witnesses another ritual, this time unsuccessful. The cult leader refers to the same demon as Lord Unknown. Andrew leaves the secret meeting and reunites with Ashley in town. Right at that moment, they finally meet the masked assassin that was sent to kill them, and get rid of him. Then, they steal his vehicle and leave the town again, heading to their parents' house. Ashley witnesses another prophetic dream, where the familiar demon says that he requires more sacrificed souls to recharge the amulet. The siblings arrive at their parents' home and are allowed to stay for a couple of days. The following night, Andrew sees a flashback dream where his ex-girlfriend, Julia, objects to his sister's possession over him. However, the younger Andy doesn't pay much attention to her. Ashley impatiently craves to start the sacrificing ritual in the middle of the night and wakes up her brother. They tie up their mother Renee and their father Douglas in the basement to sacrifice them later. At this moment, the player is suggested to choose if Andrew can stay alone with his parents or not. For now, the only canonical route here is decay, since we only have its continuation in episode 3. The siblings sacrifice their parents, eat the corpses, and throw their bones from the bridge. Ashley sees a dream where she either gets killed by Andrew or shoots him. Episode 3. In episode 3A, Ashley and Andrew stop at a gas station to buy food while avoiding police officers. When Ashley refuses to let her brother use the amulet, he steals it and sees a vision of her dismembered body. This drives Ashley mad, so she threatens him with a knife and gets hit on the cheek in return. When meeting some random family seconds later, they sacrifice them to recharge the amulet. However, a little boy manages to run away and call the police, so the siblings have to make another deal with the demon. He gives them a safe place in the demon realm, and Ashley must collect more souls for him in the human world, while Andrew stays with the demon. Soon enough, their relationship worsens, so the demon sends Andrew to also collect souls in the in-between. There, he accidentally summons another demon, called Mr. Unknown, or something frightening, who quickly reads Andrew's thoughts. We learn that young Andrew was dating Julia to detach himself from his incestuous thoughts, which returned and distressed him later when the siblings were put under quarantine. Mr. Unknown offers Andrew an alliance so that they can help each other, and Andrew accepts, going into a portal. Then there are different endings. In Shoot and Such, Andrew, after trying to kill Ashley, eventually enters into a sexual relationship with her. They will live in another apartment as a couple, and Ashley will get pregnant. Splat is a variation of the previous ending, but instead of living together, the main protagonists will commit suicide together. In Prophecy Fulfiller, Andrew kills Ashley while chasing her and then commits suicide. And finally, in Ashley Wins, Leyley takes full control over her toxic relationship with her brother, making him her very own toy. Okay, now let's cool down after all that freaky stuff and focus on the gameplay. As I've already stated in the beginning of the video, The Coffin of Andy and Leyley is an amalgamation of a 2D adventure and a visual novel. The game is constantly balancing between those two forms. During half of the game, we see ordinary dialogue boxes between characters, the same as any other visual novel. And during the other half, we play as a small avatar and explore various locations, from small to quite large. And the level design is actually very fascinating here. Different places have different forms as we see them diagonally from the side. Sometimes the shape of the location even depicts a concrete mood, by becoming smooth or sharp. And when we enter a tiny room, most of the screen stays black, which I found very interesting as well. It's a small detail, but a pretty good one. In general, there are many other nice visual solutions. Talking about the gameplay itself, well, it consists of mostly some simple puzzles that don't require much thinking. You make your way through some kind of maze with all the hints being hidden somewhere nearby. I really think of this game more of a visual novel now because, yeah, the gameplay is totally in the background here. However, for some reason, there's plenty of this gameplay, especially in the third episode. Honestly, I don't know why Leyley would expand the game exactly this way. I mean, I understand that every game should last at least some time, but I think this should have been done not simply by adding so many long puzzle levels, because they don't add anything special to the plot. In conclusion, The Coffin of Andy and Leyley is a very unique and bold project. Behind the facade of fetishistic violence and immoral topics that are seemingly supposed to cause simply disgust, there is an incredible story about what can happen to siblings without always having a proper upbringing or socialization. The second part of the third episode is definitely worth waiting for. We don't have any concrete release dates right now, but it's a whole year since the first part came out, so maybe we're about to see something really, really soon. Anyway, like this video if you want, and subscribe to my channel for more. Bye!